Okay, this is my Magic Pot. Actually, it's a pressure cooker. We've nicknamed it the Magic Pot. WTBM123, YouTube, Wilbur, Bear, Terry turned me on to this. Johnny Ringo has one too, I think. Some other techie guys that I know has one. And in this video, I'm going to be boiling some peanuts. Some nice peanuts. It's still kind of early in the season, so some of them may be a bit small. And we'll pick through some of the ones that don't look too good. There's a few, but that's okay. But these are fresh from the market. And we're going to go through a little video here. I'm going to show you how to cook or boil peanuts in about start to finish. Once you start cooking, 2 hours, not counting the hour that you take to maybe soak these. We want to soak them. What we're going to do first is we're going to wash them. All right, so we have a cauldron here, and we have our peanuts. So we'll just... I have these on a pan because I brought them home in a plastic bag that I got from the market, right? And you don't want to keep them like in a plastic bag because peanuts have moisture in them, and once you seal them up like in something plastic like that, it starts to condensate. The water tries to evaporate, and which basically can trap moisture and then could soften your peanuts up really bad or start causing mold if you have it sealed up for any length of time. Alright, so we have that in our cauldron now, so we just take some cold water. We'll take a little spray here, we'll spray it down. Just gonna wash them off. These obviously came from the earth, so they're dirty. They have dirt, and we have to go through and kind of pick the stems off of these too. We'll do that here in a second, get them washed off. Get them good and washed off. Right. And now would probably be a good time we could just kind of flip through them, pull little stems off. While they're washing. Alright, we've got some decent ones in here. For that being early in the season, they're not too bad. There's one thing I don't like is peanuts that are over seasoned. I want to show you what I do to season these before we boil them. Actually, we're going to call them boiled peanuts, but they're going to be pressure cooked. Alright, that's getting pretty close. Right, you might find one or two more as we start to soak these. We're going to soak them in our seasoning. I get that backwards sometimes. I'll throw the stem back in the pot and throw the peanut on the side. Alright, and we may have some down here. Just grab good for now. Alright, they're all good and washed. And that's about what we're looking for. Alright. So just get us a sizable mixing bowl here. Right, and here's where you can find the remaining stems that you find. They were kind of sitting on the bottom. And the good thing about boiling peanuts is, you know, once you get them started in the pressure cooker, not boiling peanuts, let me say pressure cooking peanuts, as opposed to boiling them. With boiling them, you have to check on them, you know, often to be sure you're not overcooking them, or be sure that they're not undercooked. You know, you have to deal with, you know, your big pot, the gas, the burners. You have to keep an eye on things. When you pressure cook them, once you get them in the pressure cooker and set your timer, we're talking 1 hour. When you're doing that with you know, when you're boiling them, it takes several hours. You know, we're talking 2 hours tops. Once we get this in, and things get when the pressure cooker reaches proper pressure and temperature, it'll start timing 1 hour, and that's how long it takes to really do your peanuts nicely in a pressure cooker. So what we'll do now is we'll just let these sit in here and soak for an hour. So it opens them up, pores. We'll come back we come back in half an hour and move them around again just to be sure. You know, some of the ones on top go down to the bottom. But yeah, once we do this, we get the pores to kind of open up. I call it pores. You get them to soften up a bit so they can absorb some of the water once they start boiling, or once they start simmering in the pressure cooker. It helps for them to already be soaked in water for quite a bit. It helps during the cooking process. Oh, there's a bug. How about that? There's a bug in my... So I'll be watching, folks. Okay? So we'll let these soak. Colander. Wash the colander out. Okay. Clean, clean, clean. Right. Cool. So then we're going to take our peanuts and we'll put them back in the colander. All right. Now we're ready to drop it into our pot. Here's our pot to our pressure cooker. We'll just take right. Get the last minute stems or stalks out of it if you see any more here. Right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to put in just enough water here to kind of cover them. This is about 3 pounds of peanuts. You know, I would do no more than 4 with this particular cooker. I'm going to more there. A little bit more. Okay, I can live with that. That looks good. And now for our seasonings. Alright, so here's what we're going to start off with. I have here some salt, and we're going to do a 1/4 cup of salt. Some recipes would call for like a 1/2 cup. I think that's a little much, definitely too much. 1/4 cup of salt, and I'm going to do about an 1/8 of a cup of Old Bay. Okay, something like that. Put that in there. Great. And then what we'll do, we'll get it all mixed up in here. We'll get it dissolved nicely. Okay, you can smell that Old Bay. It's smelling great. We're going to give this a go. Down. Okay. Awesome. All right, we're going to take our pot, put it down in our cooker. So let's talk a minute about this particular pressure cooker. It's about time for us to start the cooking process now on this. So there's a seal here on the bottom of these lids, and I don't know if you could tell here where they kind of sit in a groove. We just want to be darn sure that this seal is sitting in this groove right. We don't want it out like this. If you notice, that can get kind of pulled out of place. We want it all down in there, seated nicely. Okay, all the way around. And you want to be sure that this release valve here is operating and freely movable. And then we want to be sure that we have this knob here set to close. This is open here, and this is closed here. So let's just be sure that that's closed. Okay, and then we have, this is where, oh, wrong side, I think, is it? No, steam and all is going to be kind of dripping down here once this starts actuating. And here on the pot there's a condensation catching cup here, so we want this side of the lid to face this way. And then we just basically set her on there nice and easy, like so, and lock it down. Okay, and now let's go to the timer settings here for this. And basically this red here is you can set up for how many minutes or hours you want to wait to actually start the cooking process. And this is the pressure hold. The green is the pressure hold time, and basically that is once the proper amount of pressure is built up, the unit will sense it and hold that pressure for this amount of time. Once that's done, then there's a cool down process that it does, it counts down with, and then you're done. But we're going to set this for, I'm going to do mine this time for, I'm going to go 1 hour and 20 minutes. So that's an, let's see, that's 1 hour there. It's 1 hour 10. That's 1 hour 20. Okay? Then all we have to do at this point is just press the function menu button that starts the cook timer. And from this point, we can just walk away. I'll start the camera again whenever it's starting to get good and hot, and so we can see some cooking, some steam going. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, from this point, you can literally just kind of walk away. You can leave your home. You don't have to worry about it. Back in the days of the old pressure cookers, you used to have to stand guard with these and not leave them, but you can leave these. They're 100% safe. But let's just see what let's just see how they turn out. I'll turn the camera back on when things are starting to steam up a bit. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes. Let's see if you can hear it. Starting to build up pressure in there. So it's slowly building up pressure, boiling away. And as soon as that pressure reaches a certain point, you can kind of smell it too, but as soon as it reaches a certain point, that timer will start ticking down, and it'll hold that pressure until the timer ticks down. And then there's like a 30-minute cool down that it also, you know, counts down to. So that's another safety feature of this model. And you know, all these devices is for overpressure, so you don't ever have to worry about this thing like exploding or anything. Oh, we got some pressure building here. That's a good thing. Oh, the smell is lovely. Oh yeah. Okay, we've kind of calmed down here, valve set just right, and now this P here indicates that the pressure has been reached, and we're actually counting down here. It's been a couple minutes, and we'll continue to count down from there. You know, once that timer's done and we have a cool down period, we have us the equivalent of boiled peanuts. Killer killer. Right, so the timer counted down, and now the heat has been lowered automatically by the pressure cooker, and we're still having a little bit of a simmer going on here, but we're in the cool down phase, and basically what that flashing light means is it's now cooling down, and there's probably about a half an hour or so of cool down. So you want to wait till it cools down enough to where you don't have any more pressure, so we can open it up and see what we got. Alright, light quit flashing. That means our pressure has been deceased. Don't have to worry about pressure. We'll release this pressure valve just to be sure. And now that it's released, we'll close it. It's open. No problems there. So we just twist our lid here like that. Lid off. And there's our peanuts. Right, so right now we're going to pull this pot out and take it over to our colander and dump it in our colander. All right. We don't want to burn ourselves here. Let's see if I can get a better angle. Sometimes that old bacon put almost a slight hint of sweetness in the damn stuff. Okay. Alright, so we'll just grab one here. Crack it open. Oh, look at the juice and the moisture in that, huh? Definitely right on time.